Hello, it's Whip. Today I'm going to teach you how to make Slack Reacts. First off, if you're lazy and you want somebody else to do it, you can always post in React Hub. But if you post there and it's not good enough or like you don't have a picture, people might not make it, so you should definitely know how to make Reacts. You're going to need an image editor, something like Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator. Those are good, but those are like way too complicated for making a React. I have several recommendations that are free for both Windows and Mac, but for today's tutorial, I'm going to be using Paint.net, which is like free, it's constantly updated, it's really easy to use. Download links for other stuff are going to be in the description. You can use, what is it called? You can use Pixelmator for Mac, like Treebeard does. You can use Affinity for iOS, like Treebeard does. He makes React, so I'm sure they're fine. Photopea is an in-browser thing. It's new and it's super powerful. It's not exactly for beginners, but it's like pretty easy to learn. GIMP is the final one. I know I use it and I know Gritty uses it. It's definitely not for beginners, but it's super powerful. It's basically Photoshop, but free. So Reacts are great, but when you're making a React, you have several opportunities to mess up. When you're making one, you want the image to be high resolution and you want the content to be applicable. If it's low resolution, then nobody's going to know what it is, and if it's not applicable, then nobody's going to use it, and it's going to go into the void of Reacts that are never used with all the Reacts that I make. Yeah.
So we're going to hop on over to the internet and find a picture that we want. I'm going to Google SpongeGar because we need that. Which one of these should be our Slack React? This one, okay, it's pretty blurry and the background's like, so it's going to be bad. If it's something like this on the internet, somebody has probably done that. See right here, it already says transparent. What you're going to want to do to get the transparent background is type in PNG after. Okay, and then you're going to get something like this. We're going to copy the image, and then we're going to open Paint.net. The default Paint.net is going to be this thing. Just ignore that. Go to Control N, and then by default, that new image is going to be whatever is in your clipboard. So these dimensions are going to be the exact size of the SpongeGar picture. So I'm going to Control V. Now, this is tricky. It looks like this background should be transparent because that's the default like background transparent thing. But sometimes PNGs aren't actual PNGs. NANI? If I erase, you'll see there are more checkerboard patterns, which means that this background image isn't actually a PNG. So what you're going to want to do is on Paint. And most programs actually, you're going to want to pick the magic wand and then just click outside of SpongeBob, and everything around him is going to be highlighted, and you're just going to click delete. That means that everything behind him is transparent in the final image. So you're going to want to File, Save As. Now that it's saved, you're going to go to the internet, to your Slack workspace. After this, you're going to go to the top left, go to Customize Slack. So you're going to go to the emoji place. We have 366 custom emojis right now. You're going to go to Add Custom Emoji, select, find the file, and then SpongeGar. Great. Then you're going to save it, and after you click save, it has been added and is ready for use. Nice! Next we're going to do something a little more difficult. So this is when you have a picture already and you want to make this a React. So you're going to copy, then in a new file, Control N, enter, that's fine, paste that. Okay, great. So Slack Reacts look the best when they're square. So what you're going to want to do is click the select button in Paint.net and then click and drag over Daenerys. Oh, that's not really on her face. Let's go there. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And then you're going to crop to selection. Image crop to selection, but Control Shift X is the shortcut. Control Shift X, that's what I usually do. Okay. So now that you have this is kind of hard to edit. Like the last one, we used the magic wand, but when you click outside, oh no, if we delete that, it's a monster. So what I usually do is I take an eraser and I just erase the parts that I definitely don't need. So you can leave like a little bit of area around there. You don't want to go too crazy with the erasing because eventually you are gonna be using the magic wand. So you erase the rest of her, and cool, you have Daenerys the cat's head. So now you say, oh, what about these parts right here? Where like it's not quite Daenerys, it's the background. You're gonna go to the magic wand, maybe zoom in a little bit in the bottom right, and click it. But oh no, it's too much. You're gonna go to the tolerance to tone it down a little. See, now what you're deleting is just the border around her head. So you click delete, and it's good. I think we can just erase this part, because it still looks like Daenerys. Yeah, that's fine. Scroll down. Okay, the rest of it is also Daenerys' head. Cool. I'll put that part back. Okay. As with other programs, Control-Z puts everything back for you. Now you have this weird border thing from when you use the magic wand. You're just going to want to run the eraser around. This is what I do. Other programs have better magic wands that don't leave this like residue. I know GIMP for sure doesn't leave residue, but like it's really not that bad. Okay, I think that's it. And then if you click this button right here, it'll go back. Okay, cool. So now we have Daenerys the cat, her head. So you're going to go to File, Save As, make sure it's a PNG, Danny. Save. Okay. So now you're going to go back to the custom emoji page, add custom emoji, upload. Oh, she's right there. Open. Danny. Save. And now Danny is a Slack React. And the final part is going to be my pro tips for good Reacts and bad React. An easy quick tip is to upload PNG files, like I did here. So this is .png, this is .png. If they're JPEGs, then a lot of the time you're going to get the background white, and it'll just look bad on Slack. Another pro tip is the name should be easy to understand. You can use hyphens if you need to. An example of a bad React name is this one. I've made a huge mistake. I get away with it because it's a funny reference, and if you're using the React, then like you know what it is. This looks terrible. Like when you hover over it, I've made a huge mistake. Like what does that even say? And lastly, you are going to want to test it. I would test it on your phone to make sure that it looks good. Like even on the desktop, I can see, okay, this is going to look good. But I want to make sure that this looks good on my phone.
So that's how you make a Slack React. Hopefully it was helpful, and hopefully now people will make more Reacts and higher quality Reacts. So it's not just like me and Treebeard and occasionally Brock and Carlos. And Ben. Why is Ben Goodman making Reacts? Why are we making him make Reacts? Maybe he's bored at work, I don't know.